Well, since I put a little bit on my Twitter with the whole queer baiting video, oh boy, it's just kind of like revisionist history with everything else. When I go back through the old pulps, there have been instances of same-sex stuff even well before Hollywood got involved with things or like activism and things like that. It's just that the differences with all those books and everything else is people didn't make a big fuss out of it. It just happened to be there. You know, this guy's video about like, oh, we're getting baited all the time. It's like that's if you choose to see bait where it isn't. I enjoy campy stuff regardless of whatever orientation the character is, and I've found even older stuff like Fushigi Yugi and everything else. I love those characters. They're fun. They're fun to be around. They have their virtues, they have their vices, they have their own little goals, but overall the theme of them becoming like a family, really is pretty prevalent. Like a lot of new stuff is missing that. Like you have people from legitimately diverse backgrounds and mindsets coming together to become like kind of like a one big family unit. And sure, some people that react to the videos now like, "Oh, this is so homophobic." It's like, "No, it isn't." Nuriko is a character in and of himself. He's fun to watch. He's fun to listen to. I enjoy the fact that he has superhuman strength, but he has like this more vulnerable side where it's like he doesn't want to admit that he likes a person, so he'll pick on them. You know, but that's actually a fairly human response to certain things. But then again, the woke crowd also takes it to a point where like, oh, if he picks on you, that means he loves you. And it's the thing is they can conflagellate that with other things. It's like some people will actually do regular teasing, because they don't know how to express themselves some other way. So again, even when me and my brother were kids, my brother would tease me all the time, but it doesn't mean we didn't, love each other. It's just as you grow up, you end up, learning. Provided you have a stable environment, you end up developing as any normal person would. So, but back to the queer beating thing. Okay, I explicitly set out to make Eliza and Lorraine, the premier gay same-sex like lesbian couple for Uplift Protocol. But I'm developing it in such a way where, yes, one side of the equation, Lorraine realizes it a lot sooner, but I'm kind of making it a very slow burn kind of thing where I rather explore their whole aspect of them being friends first, and also, it does create a little bit of a tension. Like, eventually they will get together. Like, that's a foregone conclusion. Like, there, boom, it's there. And the other reason why I decided to do that is because so many of these people complaining about queer baiting, they're saying, "Oh, we need more representation, blah blah blah," and it's like, okay, here, I'll give you some, but I'm gonna do it the way I want to and make them actual characters first, and not just like jump right in bed immediately, rumble and tumble. Because again, my preferences are I like to see a more courtly romance, whether it's a same-sex couple or standard. You need straight people to make more babies, kind of couple. Because again, we don't have tech to really make it to where Junior can happen, like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. But the whole point with sci-fi is like you can make stuff that will negate that. That's the reason why I'm kind of confused. Like all these same-sex couple books and everything, they keep harping on current year issues while you have like a superhero setting or a sci-fi setting or a big fantasy setting with where any kind of magic can happen. It's like, and then why are you just constantly shoving real world politics into your book when that's what people don't read books for? We don't want to see a bunch of like, this is the nightly news. In this corner, we have a couple that is being ostracized by their community for blah blah blah. Honestly, most people don't even probably give a fuck of who you sleep with, provided as long as you're not hurting the society at large. I mean, I imagine a general amount of people feel that way. But I also understand why people are considering like here goes the slippery slope and everything else. That's the reason why I don't make sure I don't live in a bubble when it comes to opinions. Twitter has its own really big bubble, and even so does YouTube. So I'm just gonna try my best. Like I don't even know where I'm gonna put this yet. Whether it's gonna be a rant or adventure, maybe adventure. But yeah, queer baiting. I think most of the time, studios that want to be like neon blue, progressive, throw everything out there, woke fest. Uh, yeah, they'll pay lip service to like same-sex couple stuff. It's like, oh yes, we'll confirm it in the expanded universe stuff. But I've noticed with older shows and everything else, they didn't even worry about that. They just wanted to tell a story. That's the biggest difference. Most people, when they're looking at a story, you know, the story helps them get invested in the setting and the characters. So no matter what those characters end up turning out to be, as far as like bedroom antics, you already have people invested. So what else could you wish for, or want for? If it's not there on the shelf, just like what I'm doing with Uplift Protocol, I'm putting in everything I want to see into that story. So that's making me pretty happy. If I find other stuff along similar lines, I'm like, hell yeah, I'll go support that. So if you don't see what you want on the shelf, make it. I know it feels like beating a dead horse, but some people want to take a shortcut of like, oh, this is a big IP that everybody knows about, like Star Wars. So we're going to just warp it to fit our needs rather than create something, different, but maybe in a similar vein. Again, you don't have to be 1,000% original. You can recycle ideas from other stuff and then make something new, from like pieces of it. That's fine. I mean, again, that's how Pacific Rim ended up turning up. It had a bunch of stuff that people were familiar with, but he put it all together in a movie to make a new setting. Oh, don't look at the sequel though. The sequel's not worth it. Just watch regular Pacific Rim. Yep, that's my PSA for the day. But yeah, representation, everything. Like everybody's going, oh, we gotta have more representation. It's like no matter what people do, that character's not gonna be 100% you ever. If you keep being like kind of like a condescending to like, oh, you're only catering to the straights, that doesn't work either, because you're basically alienating a potential audience. I mean, but ultimately, whatever comes after you put out stuff, your first primary audience, if you're going to create something, is yourself. Is it great if you find readers and writers that share some of those basic tastes? Then yeah, that's great. They'll join you along for the ride. But if you're going to successfully make something you feel is more authentic to your wheelhouse, you're going to have to cater yourself first. So many woke people, they don't want to actually put in the work to create, because they want the instant recognition where like this will become the iconic version of gay or lesbian whatever. And it's like, if you want to make new icons, do what a lot of other people did, is like just keep pushing your craft. You gotta just keep putting it out there, even if it only gets one view a day or it gets like one view a week. If you love something enough, build on it. It might not hit gangbusters automatically, and that's kind of rare in today's climate. I mean, some stuff can get viral, but I've noticed even in artwork sections, a lot of people who have genuinely good original artwork will hardly get any clicks. But if you go with a big corporate zombie IP thing and make fan art of that, it's like, oh, instantly all the clicks are there. That's also my thing with like fandoms and stuff. I guess this will be kind of like a multi thing for slight rants, but yeah, fandoms are both good at some things and really bad at others. Like they'll get blinders on, because believe me, it took me forever to basically cut myself off from like Star Wars Stockholm syndrome, basically, at least for myself, to where it's like no matter what I do, no matter what I buy, the corporate entities that control Star Wars are going to just do what they want. They're not really going to pay attention to me unless I starve them. So basically, that's why I'm not buying any Star Wars stuff. Now, you can still buy Star Wars stuff if you want, but I would recommend that you do it like third party, like go to flea markets, find old stuff there, go to used bookstores, get the EU stuff there. Don't feed Disney directly. That's all I'm, saying. But as far as representation and queer baiting goes, you can't rely on corporations to give you what you want because it will ring hollow, kind of like most woke books nowadays. There's a reason why I keep going back to Xena because I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the setting, and as they grew, it didn't matter that they were in romantic entanglements with men, women, whatever. I cared about them as actual characters. I wanted to see where their adventure would go. And a lot of woke fiction nowadays doesn't prioritize that. That's how you end up with faith taking flight in that unreadable Wasp book. Seriously, if you feel bad about how you write, just look at those books. It's filled with minutia that slows down the plot, doesn't move anything forward. You'll go pages and pages of nothing happening, and it's like it's supposed to be superhero prose, so you gotta go wham, wham, wham. Thank you, ma'am. You gotta rev up that engine and go forward because since it's going from comic book format to a prose format, you have to engage the reader through actions and forward plot momentum and mysteries. Pretty much you got to have little mini hooks to keep them reading, to keep each issue, even in book format, moving forward. I guess that's it for today. I'll see you guys later.